Our officials tonight, Doug Knight, Brian Enterline, and Julie Kromenhout. And Texas Tech controls the tip. One thing Bill Fenley was concerned about is the length of Texas Tech.
Well, that's their strength, is the size inside. They've got Jada Terry as well as Bailey Brewer in the starting lineup. Aaron DeGreat off the bench brings in size, and there's the size that Iowa State has to contend with inside, just trying to keep Jada Terry off the boards.
Jada Terry comes in averaging 10.5 points a ball game, and here's Iowa State. Iowa State finishing the season 13-16, 7-11 in conference play. They did win 3 of their last 5 games. Durr has it knocked away, gets it back. And she will launch the 3. Cabeer tries to track it down, but it'll belong to Texas Tech. And the head coach of Texas Tech took over, obviously, for Candy Whitaker. Jimmy Gray Miller was an assistant at 2 years at Florida before coming to Tech, was also head coach at St. Louis University for 7 years. Watching their practice today, they practice hard. That's going to be a movie screen on Brewer. And the head coach of Iowa State in his 23rd year, Bill Fenley, led Iowa State to 17 NCAA tournaments. That's tied with Oklahoma for the most since 1997. He's a native of Davenport, Iowa. The Dean of Big 12 coaches. Wise. Cover her up quickly. Plenty of time for Carleton to operate.
Both teams starting in a man-to-man defense. We've already seen Zuri Sanders on Bridget Carleton and also Lindsay Willoughby, but a nice hustle play by Madison Wise to get the offensive rebound and putback.
I tell you, that was a good play by Wise, who did not make the Big 12 all-freshman team, and some of the Iowa State people, and understandably so, were upset about that because she's had an outstanding year.
She has. She scores well. She's had some inconsistencies, but a lot of freshmen have. But she's averaging almost 9 points a game for the Cyclones.
Shot clock at 5. Willoughby pulls the trigger. It's going to be short. May have been tipped. That'll be a shot clock violation. Texas Tech on the season turns the ball over almost 21 times a game. They're next to last in the NCAA in turnover margin.
And Iowa State just trying to keep the Lady Raiders out of the paint.
Carleton doing a lot of dribbling. On top, Durrell lets it fly, in and out. Rebound controlled by Brewer. Brewer out of Abilene, Texas, the 6'5" sophomore. And they're going to call that on Cabeer.
So Texas Tech going to try to get into the paint to look for high percentage shots, whether it's their post-to-post passing or whether it's the dribble penetration to try to get to the interior of the defense. The job for Iowa State, keep them out of the paint, make them shoot over their defenders.
2 of the last 3 games, Texas Tech has shot under 40%. They're not a great shooting team at only 42% on the season. On top, Durr. Shot clock goes to 10. That's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow will belong to Iowa State.
So Texas Tech has to be happy with the start. They've done a nice job here early, keeping Iowa State out of the paint. Good one-on-one defense, making it difficult, challenging the jumpers. And that's what Bridget Carleton's going to do. Going to continue to fight, create space for herself. She is a strong 6'1" guard that can score in a variety of ways, and there she's able to draw the foul to go to the line.
And the foul was on Zuri Sanders, her first personal foul. Bridget Carleton out of Ontario, Canada. And every year the Canadians make the trip down to Ames, Iowa. Had a busload of people this year to go down there to see her play, and they were very enthusiastic about that. So Iowa State up by 2. Inside, Burkhall, good defense. Not a very good pass, though.
Yeah, force pass inside. Tell that's the target. That's where they want to go with the ball, Texas Tech.
Durr can't find the range. Rebound pulled down by Lindsay Willoughby, the freshman out of Powder Springs, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta. Wilby, no place to go. That's going to be an offensive foul on her.
So she pushed off the defender that was right on her, but in addition, Iowa State brought 2 help side defenders. Look how Carlton comes over as the push-off happens there against Camber. But rotation into the paint, that will be the theme tonight for Iowa State.
And the rebound ripped away by Jada Terry. We're expecting Iowa State to play fast because Bill Fennelly telling us play as fast as they can and they want to run.
They'll try to make the bigs for Texas Tech stay up with them inside, or in transition, I should say.
Nice pass inside. They can't finish it out. Texas Tech now just 1 of 4 shooting the basket, 1 of 5 shooting the ball. Iowa State not much better, 1 of 6 taken away by Hayden. It's going to belong to Iowa State.
Hayden's had a couple of nice defensive plays. Earlier, she stripped the ball as it was being driven in by Camber. This time, it's Carlton that she strips the ball away from.
Hayden came in with only 5 steals on the season. Carlton's got to hurry. Barely gets it in. Then she'll take the baseline jumper. No, and Terry pulls down the rebound. Versus Iowa State. Texas Tech lost by 12 at home. Game 2 lost by 12 on the road. Wilby gives it over. Hayden launches the shot. Rolls around. No. Ray Johnson, who's checked into the lineup with the rebound. Emily Durr fouled as she hits the 3.
Well, it was the pass ahead by Ray Johnson in transition. I thought it was a risky pass to put it inside to Ricketts with all of that activity around it, but Ricketts did a smart job and kicked it out quickly before she traveled and set up Durr. Durr ready to shoot, because that's what Iowa State has done the last 23 years under Bill Fennelly. When they push in transition, they look for the 3-point shooters, and Durr was ready with the trigger.
Well, they're ranked #1 in the conference in 3-pointers made. No team in the country has taken more threes than Iowa State over the years. And Durr can't complete the 3-point play, but does give Iowa State the 5-point advantage. Turnovers been a problem for Texas Tech this season. Last 3 games, they've averaged 24 a game. Wilby over Johnson for the 3, no. 1 of 7 shooting now for Texas Tech to open up the game. 2 of 8 for Iowa State. Ray Johnson with her 24th 3-pointer made, and Texas Tech will call a timeout. Bill Fennelly saying Ray Johnson, last 6 games, Emily Durr during the regular season, last 6 games of the regular season, averaged 18.7 points a ball game. On the dribble drive, we've got a whistle and a foul. And that'll be on Ray Johnson. That'll be her first personal foul. Second team foul.
That's been an issue for Ray Johnson this year as a freshman.
Right.
Getting out of position, committing some fouls. That's an area where, a freshman, it's always a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
How do you defend on the ball with much higher level athletes than you saw in high school? How do you make sure you're rotating defensively to be in the right position to help your teammates? And the players that do that and adjust more quickly are the ones that are contributing and playing more at the end of the year.
She's got a big upside, though, Ray Johnson. Has it knocked away, tries to keep it alive, and here comes Texas Tech, trailing by 7. They've hit only 1 field goal in the ball game, and it stays that way.
Good block out that time for Iowa State.
Durr on the drive. Boy, she saw the opening and took advantage of it.
Boy, and just a burst of speed around the defender. Changed gears and got to the rim quickly.
This is Haley Brudigam. She started the season as the team's manager, number 24 for Texas Tech. On January 24th, she joined the team in West Virginia. Let's go back to Durr.
As she puts the ball on the floor between a couple of defenders, there were about 3 different help defenders that tried to reach in and help out on Durr, but she handled the ball well, got through traffic, and scored strong.
And the former team manager getting some playing time. They had to get her activated. She had a fly from Lubbock all the way to West Virginia. Got in the game, played 13 minutes, and Texas Tech gets their second field goal of the ball game. That's got to be one of the great stories from manager to playing in the Big 12.
and needed on the team for Texas Tech. Nice shot there by Brewer on that last possession. She has that ability to stretch the defenders.
Madison Wise backs it out to Durr. Burkhall from the corner, no. Carleton wisely let the rebound go away. And here comes Haley out of Lubbock, Texas. Spent some time at West Texas A&M. Olabode from the outside, can't find the mark, and the lead stays at 5. This is an Iowa State team with really no true point guard, and that has been kind of their bugaboo, I think, this whole year.
We talked about how Emily Durr has filled into that role, not her natural position, but she has been a leader in that position this season.
Oh, ice cold for the Lady Raiders of Texas Tech. Now just 2 of 11. Burkhall inside, no, but Iowa State isn't really taking advantage of it themselves. Careless turnover, and it'll belong to Iowa State.
Bill Finley jumps up and gets on his team a little bit because that one-on-one move by Burkhall is not Iowa State basketball.
Right.
When they are at their best, they're moving the ball, they're making basket cuts, they're screening. You will see the dribble drive often from the top of the key, and that's been through the years for all the Iowa State point guards. They open up that right side of the lane or the left side for the drive for point guards, but typically it's movement and screening and basket cuts that set the standard for Bill Finley. He was not happy on their last offensive series.
The foul was on Olabode, her first personal foul, and Bridget Carleton goes back to the line. Averages nearly 5 free throw attempts a game. And she's also a solid free throw shooter at 82%, so the lead goes to 9. Only points for Haley Brunigan came against Oklahoma State on January 27th. That was her second game in a Lady Red Raider uniform.
Nice double team by Carleton to force the turnover.
4 turnovers already for Texas Tech in this ball game. Durr will pull the trigger from 16, knocks it down. Durr's got 7, and the lead expands.
You can see the nice touch that she has, and Iowa State has both Burkhall and Kristen Scott in to try to defend the bigs. Now they're just going to pack it in the paint with a little zone look. With the 2 bigs, Terry and DeGrate in for Texas Tech. They want to try to make it difficult.
That's going to be a travel call as DeGrate just ran over everybody going down the middle of the lane. Claire Ricketts will come back into the lineup for Iowa State. Missouri Sanders for Texas Tech.
A little on-ball screen by Kristen Scott. May have gotten away with a little moving screen as she rotated a couple of times, but Durr stepped back behind the screen and hit the mid-range jumper. And boy, she took the brunt of it as Jada Terry ran over her down on the defensive end of the court for Iowa State.
It's interesting now that Carleton's going to set things up as Durr gets a rest. So Bridget Carleton, multifaceted. Baseline, goes inside, draws the contact and the foul. And also doing a little coaching on the sideline there. And here's Carleton. Carleton has played a lot of international ball representing Canada. Remember what a great free throw shooter she has been her entire career. Last season, she had a string of 42 consecutive free throws made. And the rebound by Brewer after the miss, but the lead's a dozen. On the dribble drive, that's going to be an offensive foul called on Texas Tech, and that'll be on Zuri Sanders.
And again, the good defensive rotation by the Iowa State defense. Look how Bridget Carlton steps over. The drive is going to go on the baseline. So you got this first person, Carlton, rotating over. She makes sure she gets outside the line. She's in good legal guarding position. Easy call for Brian Enderlein.
Well, Sanders picks up her third personal foul. Brielle Blair, number 0, checks into the lineup. The senior out of Salisbury, North Carolina, spent some time at Virginia Tech. She had 11 points versus Iowa State back on January the 13th, the first meeting between these two. Carlton's shot off the mark. Blair had it, got it back again. Trailing behind by Camber. That wasn't even close. Then Blair goes to the ground hard. Texas Tech not shooting the ball well. 2 of 12 here in the opening quarter. About a 10-second difference shot on the game clock. Iowa State just isn't in sync like we've seen them in the past as Carlton goes down hard. Blair will commit the foul. Do you agree with that? It just seems like we're used to Iowa State flowing a lot of screens, which Texas Tech has had some problems with. We haven't seen a whole lot of that.
Well, I think Texas Tech being physical defensively, and it's been tough for Iowa State to get into a rhythm, but the Iowa State defense has been outstanding, not allowing any activity in the paint on the other end of the court, holding Texas Tech to just 5. See her Big 12 ranks. Bridget Carlton at the top in minutes per game. She's in the top 5 in points, three-pointers made, as well as steals.
And final 10 seconds. Brunigan back into the lineup, getting a lot of playing time. This is only her 11th game she's played this season. Good job by Durr, causes the travel. I like the way Iowa State's collapsing on defense.
Yeah, they are not allowing anything easy in the paint.
Long pass to Carlton. She launches the 3. Won't get it. The putback. No, it won't count. Texas Tech only 2 of 12 in the opening quarter. Emily Durr knocking down the 3. She had 7 in the first quarter. Iowa State leads by 14.
To do, make Texas Tech shoot over the top, and they haven't had good luck with that so far in the game.
Missy, you listened to Bill Finley's huddle.
Ron, Bill Finley talking to this team, and you can tell that the message from the start was that they're going to win this game with their defense. They've got to understand the personnel that are in the game. They had some mix-ups when you had both Terry and DeGreat in the ball game. They've got to know that, but you've got to play big, play strong, know the matchups, and as Brenda said, you've got to make them go over you and go right through you.
How about Haley Brunigan? That's her first field goal made at this level of college basketball and for Texas Tech.
She shot it very confidently on the baseline.
Carlton misses everything, falls right into the hands of Texas Tech's Jada Terry.
I don't think that was the right decision for the Iowa State offense. Angel Hayden at 5'6" was defending Carlton at 6'1". I'm not sure why they weren't looking to post her up and instead drew her out to the perimeter.
Will be in traffic, and it's a jump ball. Possession arrow will belong to Iowa State as we take a look at their stats from the first 10 minutes of play. And it wasn't pretty if you're a Texas Tech fan, only just about 17% shooting.
Iowa State not setting the world on fire. However, driving in and getting points off turnovers. They scored in transition.
But 8 turnovers, though. That's not good for Texas Tech. No. Durr. Ricketts. Trying to post up. Shot clock at 5. Durr pulls the trigger, nails another 3. Her second.
Inside-out action.
It was. And you knew that they were in sync, those two. I mean,
Yeah.
they were just looking at each other, and you knew they were setting something up.
A really nice two-player game, working off one another. See, look at everybody off the ball for Iowa State. Everybody sinking into the paint, and Jada Terry still finds a way to get the rebound. There were 3 Iowa State defenders in the paint in front of her, and she still uses her strength here to just go up over the top. That's the size advantage that Texas Tech has, and if they can find a way to exploit that, they can give Iowa State some problems on the interior.
Well, we mentioned that earlier, that Bill Finley was very concerned about it. He goes, their size gives us some problems. Durr feeling it, pulls the trigger, back of the iron. Ricketts, the offensive rebound. Cambur is spotting up. They didn't get it to her. Now they do. She lets it fly. No. Terry with the rebound, already her 6th of the ball game.
Every Iowa State defender has her sneakers in or near the lane.
Well, Terry just got popped in the nose as she was trying to get to that left block. We do have a foul. Let's look at that defense.
Everybody laying off their defenders. Look how tight the defense is. Good rotation that time by Ricketts. She gets called for the foul, I believe.
She did.
But it was just, again, tightening up on the paint, not allowing those interior passes.
Check that, the foul was on Burkall, my bad. And that's going to go against Texas Tech with a little forearm.
Yeah, Jada Terry just shoving her way down the lane, trying to make herself available for the pass. Watch how she just shoves Burkall to try to clear some room. That's not how you get open. That's how you get a foul. Move your feet.
Her running the show out front. Carlton. Reset things up. Burkall sets the pick. Carlton with a shot. Burkall fights for the rebound, can't get it. Carlton still looking for her first field goal made so far tonight. She's 0 for 8 shooting the basketball. This is still one of the great stories. And Haley Brudigam. Turn around, no. Brewer can't find the range. Here comes Madison Wise, the freshman of Greenfield, Indiana. We saw a game, she got hurt. We weren't sure if she was going to play the next game. That was late in the season. Got hurt in practice, actually. Got hit upside of the head. The three, no. Won't go down for Kristen Scott. Here comes Texas Tech.
Immediately the double team. Jada Terry catches the ball on the block finally.
How about that? Brudigam had not hit a field goal in the 10 previous games she played for Texas Tech. 0 for 5, she's got 2 tonight.
And it was a good pass by Jada Terry to set her up. She was double teamed, didn't have anywhere to go, kicked it out.
I like the confidence that Haley's shooting with, though. She doesn't even hesitate. You know, Cheryl Swoops, one of the assistant coaches, telling Haley Brudigam, go, go. She was kind of walking up the court with the basketball. Iowa State 0 for their last 5, the last 3 minutes of this quarter. Brudigam will try for her 3rd field goal made, and she's got it, and the bench of Texas Tech erupts. Iowa State led by as many as 15. Down to 11, no points the last 3:15 for the Cyclones. Durr, the turnaround, still can't find the range. 0 for their last 6, and a whistle and a foul on Iowa State.
The Texas Tech bench is fired up. They're hitting a few shots. Iowa State daring them to shoot from the perimeter, and they've been able to knock a few down. The bench is getting fired up. Brudigam comes to the bench and gets a lot of high fives from her teammates. Trying to generate some excitement.
Ionna Mckenzie, number 42, is checked into the lineup for Texas Tech. Dio Olabode back into the lineup also for the Lady Red Raiders. Brewer, the southpaw, flies it from just inside the three-point arc.
So that's where Iowa State is forcing them to shoot from, and that's where they're making the shots right now.
Well, Texas Tech on a 6-0 run the last 1 minute and 25 seconds. Carlton, that's going to be a blocking foul. She'll go back to the line for her 9th and 10th free throw. And with that, we'll take a break. Haley Brudigam, she averaged 0.1 points a game coming into tonight. She's helped Texas Tech cut the lead down to 9.
Shimmy Gray Miller was talking to his team about was that they've got to be able to wait for screens offensively. They can't get antsy. You got to have a little patience, and they're going to get those mid-range jumpers, especially their post players. That's where they've got to step up and knock them down. But it's about patience and spacing right now, half court offensively.
Well, that's going to be a charge. Bridget Carlton held her ground. And that foul's going to be called on Brielle Blair. Look at it again.
Well, we've seen Bridget Carlton now do this a couple of times, and that rotation over, understanding that Iowa State's defense is forcing the baseline drive. And so the rotation over from the help side into that position, able to draw the charge, and Carlton's done that a couple of times.
Scoring drought for Iowa State, closing in on 5 minutes. They try to end it. Carlton can't. Texas Tech on a 6-0 run the last 2 minutes.
I'd like to see Carlton go try to get something at the rim. She's 0 for 9 so far. She's 0 for 5 from three-point range. Needs to get herself into a rhythm by getting to the rim.
And she's already taken 8 free throw attempts. Texas Tech not taking advantage. Offensive rebound and the putback. Good job by Mckenzie. Only 1 point the last 4 games, only 1 shot taken in that span.
Well, and she was in amongst a lot of Cyclones that just went and ripped down that rebound to have the opportunity to score.
There you go. Carlton, listen to you, Brenda.
Well, she's a very instinctive player. I don't think she was listening to me. I think she figured that out herself.
We're going to give you credit, though.
Well, she needed to get herself to the rim, and I'm sure she sensed that I got to find a way to score, and made an aggressive move to the rim.
Texas Tech has hit 5 of their last 6 shots.
And you know, sometimes the shot going in the basket gives confidence to the entire team. All of a sudden, that basket looks bigger. Everybody feels like, hey, I can do this as well. And they're not all struggling to score.
And Iowa State is struggling to score. Only 1 for their last 9, but Emily Durr comes up with the 3.
Well, the officials motion to the scorer's table to check that to make sure that was a three-pointer, but they did count it a 3, so they'll go back and check that to make sure.
She's got a dozen. A whistle and a foul. That'll be on Ray Johnson. Mass substitutions for both teams. Here's her feet. We need
that's
to call.
really close.
Well, we need to call the NFL and get the envelope. Maybe they can send it to.
It looks like, wow, it's very close.
It's
it looks
really
like
close.
it's right behind the line, but the officials are going to check that at the next dead ball opportunity.
Wise with the rebound. Inside of 2:20 to play here in the second quarter. Carlton got her first field goal made of the evening, and it's a 3.
And Carlton went to the rim, saw the ball go in the basket, sigh of relief, and then she hits a three-pointer.
There you go. Second field goal made tonight, I should say. Nice pass inside. Brewer can't finish it out. Durr pulls it down. Durr 12 points right now in the ball game. We got to wait for the official word on that three-pointer. Carlton has it knocked away, and a whistle and a foul is going to be called. Saying they hit her upside of the head.
It looked like a clean block up top, but there were 2 defenders there. Let's see, as Carlton takes it in, and you can see the follow through by Brewer. It does come across the side of the head. That's where the foul occurred.
Carlton 13 points in this first half. Emily Durr has a dozen. And Texas Tech now down by 14. They've trailed by 15. 1:30 to play in the half. Ball tipped up. That's the defense we saw in the first quarter by Iowa State. Up ahead to Wise. The scoop, no. Burkall offensive rebound. Durr for 3. Terry with a rebound.
Well, on the last possession for Texas Tech, Jada Terry had posted herself up in the paint, was available for the ball, but it was good pressure on the ball that didn't allow her to get it, and then she's over anxious and shoots a little bit out of her range on that shot.
Texas Tech shooting 32% of the ball game. Iowa State only 29%. But Iowa State's got the lead. Chamber on the drive with the right hand.
Good read That's what the defense gave her. There was an open lane. Nobody stepped over in help side position.
And Iowa State now has put together a 9-0 run. Texas Tech scoring drought over 215. Rudiger, oh my goodness. Talk about a career night. She's got 8 points in the ball game. I'd play her 40.
A little extra skip in her step right now, feeling confident.
Once again, she played at West Texas A&M. Not exactly Texas Tech. Here's Carleton, final 8 seconds of the half. Durr trying to get some space. Carleton for 3. Rebound tipped around, and that's the way the first half's going to end. Carleton with 14 points. She'll run the point. Hayden didn't score in that opening half. 0 for 3 shooting. Sanders gets the start in the second half. Boy, look at the double.
Yeah, quick double team by Iowa State. Again, crowding in the paint, not allowing anything easy for Texas Tech inside.
How about Carleton? The ball was going out and she kind of knocked it, kept it in bounds, and got it to her own teammate. Burkall, the pull-up. I think definitely that Brittany Brewer altered that shot. Could have been a push-off. Instead, it's a turnover. And that's 13 on Texas Tech in this ball game.
So Iowa State starting off with a couple of good defensive possessions here to start the half, but Bill Finley wants to see a little more fluid play, a little more rhythm offensively. Actually executing the plays, and didn't see a lot of that in the first half.
Carleton with the 3, knocks it down, and Carleton was 17 in the ball game.
Wow, we saw her start the game 0 for 9, and she got herself into a rhythm by getting to the free throw line, getting a layup, and that has allowed her to contribute in a big way.
And the shot won't go down. Let's check in with Missy.
Well, Texas Tech is without the services of sophomore Grayson Bright tonight, Ron. In the game on February 24th against Oklahoma, just 5 minutes in, she took an elbow to the nose, broke her nose. She also sustained a concussion. She had to have it surgically repaired, but she is here in Oklahoma City cheering on her team, but obviously that makes them even more thin out at that guard spot.
Also, Rasay Caldwell injured, hasn't played since the beginning of the year. And you take 2 of those players that were valuable assets to this team, and they are out. Lead is cut down to 16. It's been as high as 18.
Grayson Bright, one of those high-energy players, brings it on both ends of the court. I hope that she has a speedy recovery from that broken nose.
Oh, Bridget Carleton starting to feel it. Carleton with 39, her season high this year against Oklahoma State. She's a finalist for the Cheryl Miller Award, which is a very prestigious honor. Terry has it tipped away. Wise struggles to try to get it, and then she commits the foul, knocking over Brittany Brewer. Good hustle, though, by Durr and by Wise.
Loose ball, everybody getting after it, trying to gain the possession. And Brewer had it, and then the foul committed to knock her off her feet.
Madison Wise, Greenfield, Indiana. They thought that about January and February that Madison Wise may have been trying too hard. They wanted her just to relax and play the basketball game. She's an outstanding talent. There's the double again. And they're going to throw it away again.
The Iowa State defense making it difficult for Jada Terry to get a good look, a good clean look at selection for the second year in a row. A big-time scorer for her team. They lean on her a lot, and she has gotten back into a rhythm after a slow start.
Emily Durr from the corner. No, Wise the offensive rebound and follows it up. Madison Wise with 4 in the ball game.
7th offensive rebound of the game for Iowa State. They've got 7 second chance points off of them.
Texas Tech trying to get back in this. Wise fights for the rebound. Last touch by Wise. It'll be Texas Tech's basketball. Down by 20.
If you're Texas Tech, trying to find high percentage shots against this Iowa State defense that's packing it in the paint. You have to try to score on extra effort plays. They get a tip on this offensive rebound and another opportunity for a possession.
Texas Tech really struggling shooting the ball, trying to snap an 11-game losing skid. But this has been the real feel-good story. Brudigam for Texas Tech, can't get it to go. The follow, good effort. Aaron DeGreat, the sophomore out of Waco, Texas.
Stayed with it, kept the ball high, the transfer from Louisville, able to get an extra opportunity. Using all of the rim on that three-point attempt for Madison Wise.
And Wise, back-to-back buckets for her. 21-point advantage. The winner plays Texas tomorrow, the number 2 seed. Brudigam thought about it. Nice dish. Inside, whistle and a foul. She's trying to get it inside to Wilby. Let's go to Madison Wise and her 3.
Yeah, look at this angle here, right above the backboard. We can see how high it bounces off the backboard into the hoop.
No style points in basketball, though.
There's a little shooter's touch there.
There you go. Wilby out of Powder Springs, Georgia. Wilby helped McEachern High School to 3 state 6A titles. It's a big high school in the Atlanta area, and she's a pre-engineering computer science major.
So she's smarter than you and I combined.
Well, yeah, I majored in speech. Hey, they taught me all 14 letters of the alphabet. I'm pretty impressed. Emily Dirk on the drive, wide open.
Again, that burst by Emily Durr. Sometimes she just lulls you to sleep with the initial dribble and then makes that nice quick burst to the basket.
And you got to go back to when Bill Finley benched her versus Baylor, and that seemed to be the wake-up call because ever since that benching, she's played efficiently and she's played extremely well.
She really has. She has been a leader on this team in both communication and scoring.
Adrian Camber, the sophomore out of Lund, Sweden. Never visited Iowa State before she signed with them. So she loves the campus. Whistle and a foul as DeGreat tried to get some space on the inside, and Carlton went down hard. And that'll be on Claire Ricketts. And at the line, it'll be Aaron DeGreat. Went to La Vega High School in Waco, Texas. Spent the 2015-2016 season at Louisville. She played 28 games, averaged 3 and 3. I remember her high school years ago. They were an outstanding high school team. They went 35-0. Well, that's kind of like the time of possession stat in football. All but 61 seconds, Iowa State has led this game. Camber, no. Offensive or defensive rebound. Here comes Texas Tech, Zuri Sanders. That's going to be an offensive foul on Sanders. That'll be her 4th.
And she just looks at her teammates like, somebody come and make yourself available for the basketball.
Ionna Mckenzie comes back into the lineup for the Lady Red Raiders. Yep. Ray Johnson got a forearm shiver.
Good.
5 minutes left to be played here in quarter number 3. Lauren Harrison's checked into the lineup for Texas Tech. Wearing jersey number 14, the sophomore out of Tomball, Texas. Iowa State's doing a lot defensively, and it usually ends up in something good. Carlton up ahead, Camber with the light layup. You and I have been part of a couple of senior days, and It's always emotional to watch these young ladies. I'm talking to Ariel Atkins of Texas, how tough her senior day was going to be. Madison Wise rattles homes the 3. She's in double figures, one of 3 Iowa State Cyclones to go into double figures.
Nice execution out of the timeout. In the paint, kick out to the 3-point shot.
Iowa State 7 of 10 shooting in this quarter, and they'll get another opportunity. Texas Tech only 1 of 7. Nice pass up ahead. Burkhall can't finish. Durr put it on the money. Texas Tech with more turnovers in this quarter than buckets, but the 3-pointer goes down for Dio Olabode. That's one of the players that Bill Fenley was telling us, well, we've got to chase her off the 3-point line. They didn't. Boy, Wise had it right open underneath. They didn't get it to her. Burkhall facing up, throws it up with the right hand. Rudiger has to give it up, go inside of 3:35. Smooth little crossover by Wilby. Emily Durr, Burkhall, 17. Yeah, really, somebody blew a sneaker here.
It's Ionna Mckenzie.
And Bridget Carlton just drop kicked it. Well, that's probably really pleasant. Rudiger can't get it to go. And substitutions. Claire Ricketts will come back in for Iowa State. Adrian Camber also coming back in. And Dio Olabode will get a little bit of a breather. .304 to play. Doing a little housekeeping there. Ionna Mckenzie trying to make sure the shoes are all tied up. Haley Brudegam out of Lubbock running the show out front. Harrison, only her 10th game played this season. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Shot is rejected by Carlton. Here comes Iowa State's Ray Johnson. Camber goes down low. Claire Ricketts back up top. Wise for 3. Rebound, Bridget Carlton. Wise tries it again. That was way off to the left side. And it'll belong to Texas Tech, I think. Let's check in with Missy. Missy.
The Wise with 2 misses there right in a row, but she is in double figures now for the 12th time this season. And keep in mind, as you said earlier, Ron, this young lady that was not on the all-freshman Big 12 team, but she was selected Big 12 Conference Freshman of the Week 3 times in this league. And so she's not only done her job throughout the course of the year, she's been pretty darn consistent. And as we all know, it is tough to find floor time when you play for Bill Fenley, and Madison Wise has done that this season.
Absolutely, and you know, and Brenda was talking about it earlier, you have to learn defense when you're a freshman, especially on this level. A lot of freshmen can't adapt how fast this game is and how strong everybody is. Camber fights for it, goes down hard, can't come up with it. Iowa State fans, that'll be a shot clock violation. We're yelling, shot clock, going inside, and Terry's fouled.
Well, it's pretty good awareness by Lindsay Wilby, as Iowa State never took possession of that ball, so the shot clock continued to wind down, and Wilby at least forced the ball up toward the rim to reset the shot clock, and then Jada Terry positioned herself for an offensive rebound.
Terry, a transfer from Texas A&M, sat out the 2015-2016 season. When she was coming out of high school, she was considered the #1 post player in Texas.
Yeah, she was a top 10 post player nationwide. Got in there at Texas A&M. behind a senior her first year, and then also had to contend for time with Kyla Hilsman, so decided to transfer.
And Terry playing probably her final game as a Lady Red Raider. Carleton, they try to put the forearm up. Angel Hayden will be whistled for the foul. And that'll be her first personal. 24-point advantage. Iowa State's led from the beginning. Held Texas Tech to just 5 points in that opening quarter. Durr launches the three. Quick turnaround. That's a pretty move by Brittany Brewer, the sophomore from Abilene.
And we haven't seen her score much tonight. That's just her 8th point now in the game, and she is very skillful, has the ability with that high reach to score over a lot of defenders, and just hasn't quite gotten into a rhythm tonight.
Good job by Hayden defensively. They try to answer with a three. Ray Johnson pulls down the rebound. They quickly down court. Durr sees a little bit of a gap. Nice pass inside, counted for King, or for Scott, Kristen Scott.
Didn't see her right away, but kept her head up and used her pivot to get away from the double team and made a nice pass to set up Scott for the shot.
Well, no points in the last game versus Kansas. Oladobe, this time they were right in front of her with Ray Johnson. Shot clock turned off, final 20 seconds here in the third. Carleton looks up. Tough shot, whistle and a foul with 5.6 to play.
So often the ball will be in the hands of Bridget Carleton when it's a shot clock running down or the end of a quarter coming to a close. They want to put the ball into Carleton's hands as she can create for herself her shots, as well as anybody in the conference, maybe in the country, because she has to be creative in order to get her shots off.
Carleton has been very successful from the free throw line tonight, 11 of 12. She's got 21 points. And that's the way quarter number 3 will come to an end. It has been all Iowa State in this basketball game since the beginning. Texas
offensive sets as any team that you're going to see. They play scouting report defense to prepare for taking away their opponent's strengths. And everybody, as he was saying, needs to pay attention to detail. No matter who you end up guarding, you need to know how you're supposed to guard them and making sure you're doing things the right way.
Well, Bill and his entire staff, and I was joking with him in the hotel yesterday, that they were not pleased with the practice yesterday at all. Texas Tech had more turnovers and field goals made in quarter number 3. Still having trouble finding the hoop tonight. Durrell looks inside. Burkall, great position. Brewer covers, but that's going to be a foul.
Well, the nice lob pass over the top to Burkall. And Brewer looked like she had the ball, but she must have come down on the arm of Burkall inside.
Burkall, the advertising major out of Urbandale, Iowa, just a junior. You know, when you talk to Bill Finley about her, they said they need more from her, and especially if they play Texas tomorrow, and it looks like they're going to have to get more out of her in that ball game.
Now that's an important position for Iowa State, and they've struggled to get scoring out of the post position this year. Burkall with just 6 points per game, and it's when the post player is good for Iowa State, it helps set up the perimeter shooting that they like so well.
Kamer with a rejection. One more note on Burkall, though. She's probably looking forward to playing Texas. She had 19 against them this year. Burkall backs in, left hand, spins it around and down.
And it looks like Bill Finley might be asking for them to go to Burkall here to give her a little bit of confidence in the fourth quarter to prepare her for tomorrow.
That's called good coaching. Olabode, no. I think you may be right.
Well, and when you get to a point in this first round game, you want to sharpen things up. It has not been a sharp game for Iowa State. So Bill Finley can really use this in some ways as a practice to get his team ready for tomorrow.
On the verge of winning their first Big 12 tournament game since 2013, when they won a couple versus Kansas and Oklahoma. And Brewer will go to the line to shoot the free throw. Now, we showed you Bill Finley earlier from 1990. Here's the split screen of him. Man, he's going to kill us.
I hope they don't have any pictures of me from 20 years ago.
I showed him one of mine when my career started here in Oklahoma City, and I had a publicity photo from 1976, and everybody said, your tie was bigger than your head.
Well, I remember interviewing Bill Finley in '99. I got to do, I think, one of their NCAA tournament games as well as some of the Big 12 games that year. And he's had a lot of history with this program.
Oh, yeah. And to think that his first crowd at Hilton Coliseum was like 300 people or something. Now they average over 5,000. I tell you what was really cool is yesterday the band, who had driven down obviously from Ames, Iowa, they were checking in the hotel. Bill met them as they were coming in and thanked every band member for being there. Very impressive.
He has always done a great job of showing appreciation for the people that support women's basketball. And
there's the band.
Yeah, the Iowa State band, one of the most entertaining bands around.
They really are.
They are very creative when the opponent is shooting free throws and making other contributions to the game.
I always judge them on the drummers. They got a great drummer there, and they play songs that I actually know. There he is.
You and I are
I like this guy. He
nice.
We've seen him at up at Ames a couple times. If they'd only be quiet on my floor of the hotel, I'd like him even more.
Yeah, and if you're wondering who was calling your room at 5:45 this morning, band members, I think it might have been Ron.
I'm about a year away from yelling people to get off my grass.
Oh, my.
8:01 to play in the ball game. It's tough, I think, if you're Iowa State right now because Bill Finley is, I'm sure his mind's racing. He wants to get this game over with, but we talk about it's obviously out of hand right now, but I think, Brenda, you and I both know that Bill Finley's going, okay, we've got to use this remaining 7 minutes and 48 seconds to play good basketball in preparation for tomorrow's game.
That's what this point in the game is about, because it hasn't been smooth, because it hasn't been pretty so far. What can they get? What kind of momentum can they get here in the final minutes? You heard him, and we always appreciate the coaches allowing us to listen into their huddle. He was talking about attention to detail, and at this point, that is of highest priority for Bill Finley and his staff.
Well, his team leads by 26. Final 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Madison Wise still getting a lot of playing time. Taken away. Haley Brudigam pulling the trigger. Brewer got the two. We've got a whistle and a foul underneath. The basket will go. Then we'll have the foul called. I think it's going to be on Jada Terry.
So Brewer raises up that high-reaching left-handed shot, but it was Terry under the basket clearing out that gets called for the foul.
2017, Brittany Brewer is a member of the Big 12 all-freshman team, but the last 3 games she's struggled shooting, only 26% coming into tonight. Camber rolls it over. That stops a 6-0 run by Texas Tech. Brewer on top. Tough guard for Kristen Scott. Shot clock inside of 10. Rudiger, great job. What a great story. She's in double digits, 10 points in the ball game. Once again, she had not scored a field goal coming into this game in her college career, which started January the 24th, by the way. Now she's got 5.
Yeah, what an opportunity for her to step in here and show what she can do.
No foul called. Scott wanted it, didn't get it. Sanders, the big step. Wise with the foul. I do like the fact that Texas Tech's bench is still up cheering.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because I like the fact that Sanders still pushing ahead in transition, trying to make something happen, continuing to work hard. It would be very easy at this point to just, check it in, but a hustle play there by Sanders to try to make something happen.
Durr, Carlton, and Burkall will come back into the lineup. Ricketts, Camber, and Johnson will go out for Iowa State. And here's Zuri Sanders, a sophomore out of Evansville, Indiana. Last 5 games, she's done an outstanding job rebounding the basketball, averaging about 8. Can't get the free throw to go. Carlton, a little open, doesn't get it, rebound, and a whistle and a foul.
And that's one of the players we're talking about, Rod, to have Meredith Burkhall gain some confidence here in this game. Gonna have to be ready to play Texas tomorrow. Stays active on the offensive boards, catches it, goes up quickly, draws the foul.
And Burkhall, I think Bill Finley's probably hoping, getting a little confidence, having a tough year. Didn't have any rhythm this season. Meredith Burkhall didn't. Comes in averaging just 6 points a ball game. Gets the second, that gives her 8 for the game. Now for Texas Tech, it's been Rudiger and Brewer. They're 9 of 19. The rest of the team, 5 of 27 combined. That kind of gives you an indication of how the rest of the team has played. And here comes Iowa State. Carlton sizing the defense up. She's got 21 in the ball game and 11 of those from the free throw line. And that's going to be called on Dio Olabode. Let's talk about the All Big 12 first team. 3 Baylor Bears on it. And of course, Vivi Pierre-Louis, we'll see her tomorrow, the senior from Oklahoma. And the second team, we've got Oklahoma State, we've got Texas, and Tiana Muldrow of West Virginia. And you and I were talking, we'd hate, the first team I should say, we'd hate to have to pick people for this award.
Well, Ariel Atkins, as well as Brooke McCarty again on the first team. Christy Wallace, of course, there. She also is on the defensive team, and we already talked about just how heartbreaking that is to see her out with the ACL injury.
But it was heartwarming for us, I think, today to get a chance to at least spend some time with Christy, and because all of us were feeling so badly after we saw it happen earlier this week. She kind of lifted all of our spirits up today.
Well, yeah, as much as she could, as Zuri Sanders get that jumper to go down. Christy Wallace just looked at us and said, yeah, just bad timing, isn't it?
Yeah.
She just tried to keep a sense of humor about it. I said, is there any way that they can tape that thing up? She said, yeah, a little duct tape. I've got some gum here. Let's see what we can do to try to fix it.
Carlton with the basket, she'll go to the line, but Christy did say they're going to wait till the swelling goes down. They're going to fit her with another brace, and I said, oh, you're going to play? She goes, who knows? But we do know Iowa State's going to continue to play. They'll be playing again tomorrow. They lead it by 26. Seen a lot of playing time and do what she did. No hesitation at all. Playing at 100%. You like that?
It's fun to see. It certainly is.
And she has the basketball as we head towards 4 minutes to play. 27-20 advantage.
It's just been a tough year at Texas Tech, just trying to put the pieces together with interim head coach Shimmy Gray-Miller and the athletic staff there looking to make a hire once the season is over. It will be interesting to see how that all plays out. I know there's a yearning in Lubbock to get this program back to a level that they are all used to. They love women's basketball in West Texas.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, if you think of Marcia Sharp and the national title there and the great players they have there, Texas Tech's got a long and storied history in basketball. Trying to get something going. Wilby can't get it.
And it's just a great area of the country for girls basketball. So much interest and support and excellent teams in girls basketball in West Texas.
Now they want to get Bridget or Adrian Canebeer out of there. And how about Cheryl Swoops? Former head coach herself, of course, one of the greats in Texas Tech history.
An Olympian, one of the great WNBA players of all time. Sharing her knowledge with these players as an assistant coach. Trying to do what she can to develop the players and the young women on this team.
Well, Bridget Carlton is out of the lineup, and that's probably the rest. That'll be it for her tonight. She ends up, Carlton, with 24 points in the ball game, but more importantly, she was 12 of 13 from the free throw line. And that's the most makes and attempts for her in a career. Offensive foul, that'll be on Burkall. And we'll mosey on down to the other line. Ionna Mckenzie, the senior out of Florida. Communications major. Dad Richard was an All-American linebacker at Penn State, went on to play with the Cleveland Browns. Just a reminder, we got 4 games coming your way tomorrow. Of course, TCU and Oklahoma. This is going to be a good basketball game. Amy Okonkwo comes off the bench, only plays about 20 minutes a game, averaging 15 points a game. And Vivi Pierre-Louis, that's her season average. She's done a lot better over the last month of the season.
Yeah,
it's upwards of 20.
She has played extremely well as of late. Pierre-Louis coming into her own, playing with so much confidence. And Oklahoma, that had such a tough non-conference schedule and the number 2 ranked strength of schedule in the country, has played well over the last month and has positioned themselves for an NCAA tournament berth. So tomorrow's game against TCU, very important for the Oklahoma Sooners.
How about TCU? They start the conference season 0-3. They go on a 7-game win streak. Most Big 12 wins they've had. Megan Peebly's done a good job this year.
They're getting contributions from their starters. You mentioned Okonkwo off the bench.
Yeah. I remember asking Coach Peebly, why Okonkwo off the bench? He goes, works. Okay. Johnson knocks down the 3. She's got 6 in the ball game. Both her field goals made were from beyond the arc. Final 2:25, whistle and a foul. While you talking about the NCAA tournament, put your hat on again and break it down for us.
Well, I think that Oklahoma, with its strength of schedule, has positioned itself well, especially how they've played lately. Oklahoma State with a win over UCLA in the non-conference. The only team in the country that's played Mississippi State to a 1-possession game. West Virginia was so good in non-conference play, but their lack of depth has caught up with them, and the fact that Tynice Martin not on the team this year after being the most outstanding player of this tournament last year. And you mentioned TCU went on that 7-game win streak, have improved a great deal, and it will be an excellent game between Oklahoma and TCU tomorrow. Very important games in those quarterfinals for the fate of these Big 12 teams.
I loved watching the practices of the respective schools today. And the intensity level was there, but it was also a great fun level. Everybody was very loose, both TCU and Oklahoma.
It's a fun time of year. It's what you've worked for all year long. The Big 12 plays the true round robin. Every team plays home and away.
Right.
And everybody knows each other well. So there's not a lot of secrets when you come here on this neutral site.
That'll be a shot clock violation. Iowa State only 6 turnovers in the ball game. Texas Tech doing much better in the second half. Only 16 for the game, only 4 in the second half. Now Iowa State will get a little bit of rest before they have to take on the University of Texas. That game will be at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Central. All 4 games tomorrow, by the way, will be on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. And then the semifinals on Sunday and the finals on Monday, all on FS1. Here's Lindsey Wilby.
Well, I think some of the intrigue of this tournament, we've already talked about Oklahoma and TCU, that matchup and what's on the line. But Baylor, first time they'll be playing an entire game without Christy Wallace.
Right.
And Morris was out for disciplinary reasons in that last game against West Virginia. So Baylor was playing with just 6 players and ultimately 7 with Natalie Cho in the last minute of the game. But how will Morris, as a freshman, take over? Very talented freshman.
Right.
But she will be called upon to be the starting point guard in place of Christy Wallace.
You know, we went to Baylor's shoot-around today and practice today, and looking at Natalie Cho, it almost looks like she has a soft cast on her wrist. Before, when we first heard it was injured a month or so ago, it looked like it was just wrapped up. Now it's a big thing on her wrist. But she was still shooting, as we saw earlier this week. We were down in Waco. Still warms up with the team. Here's Claire Ricketts. Closing in on a minute to play.
Don't forget that we'll have this Iowa State-Texas game, and then Oklahoma State-West Virginia, another fun game to look forward to. As remember, West Virginia is the number 6 seed last year, made a run through the entire tournament. And they have that opportunity again as they'll match up with Oklahoma State in our final game tomorrow night.
Well, but you look at the West Virginia team, they're so beat up. Shania Ray is just, you know, everybody seems like they're pretty beat up on that team, and they've lost both games to West Virginia this year. Wilby with the free throw. Final 60 seconds.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute.
Iowa State going to move their record up to 14-16 overall. They've now won 4 of their last 6 games. Get a chance to play the number 2 seed, spend another night in Oklahoma City. Johnson out front, 7 to shoot. Nice pass inside. Ricketts. First field goal made of the ball game.
And everybody traveled down from Ames, and everybody on the bench for Iowa State enjoying that shot made by Ricketts.
Ola Bodie for 3. Love the fans at Iowa State. Had a chance to meet a lot of them in the hotel the last day and did a lot of fun with them. That's going to do it, though. Impressive performance, at least from the score standpoint, for Iowa State. They put 3 players in double figures, led by Bridget Carlton with 24. Durr had 15. Wise had 10. Texas Tech also with 3 players in double figures. Wilby with 11.